Welcome guys, Matt from Total Drummer here. This is a really quick video and I just want to talk about a little cheat to stop snare buzz. There are a number of tactics you can use to try and stop snare buzz. Obviously we want the snare to buzz, that's kind of part of what it does. That's what gives it its distinctive sound when the snare wire's underneath, buzz, rattle a bit and we get the snare sound. But sometimes it's happening too much and it's just out of control. So if you think about when you hit your high tom sometimes and it just sets it off like mad, your snare does this horrible buzz that it just bleeds into everything and it's way too much. Or sometimes it'll be a certain note your bass player plays on the stage and it just, that frequency sets your snare off. We can't 100% avoid that, you know, you can't fully avoid it. Your snare will buzz and that's cool, that's what gives it its sound. So don't stress too much. But a little trick I sometimes use, as I say, there are different things you can do, but one of the things I like to do, it's quite a common trick, is simply to play around with the tuning on the bottom of the snare drum here. So this particular snare here has, what is it now, 10 lugs, 10 tension rods. And this is generally the tightest tension skin on the entire drum kit. So we have this really, really tight, often, you know, more often than not, this is the tightest drum head on your kit. So it's holding a lot of tension already. So this is a fine balance here, but what we can do is we can look at the two tension rods. Sorry, and I'm setting off a lot of buzz here because I'm right by it. But if we look at the two tension rods, either side of the snare strands, we can just undo those a little bit. We can just take off some of the tension there. So we're reducing that. And if we come to the other side as well, we find the two tension rods either side of the snare strands there. We just take a bit of tension off those as well. Now obviously that means the entire bottom head is slightly less tensioned and this does fly in the face of everything we're taught about drum tuning, which is make sure every single tension rod is evenly tuned because that's what gives us a nice even sound. But this head is unique, you know, this is the only head that has something sitting right across it, buzzing away. So therefore, we can break the rules a little bit and treat it slightly differently. Now, some people hate this as a technique, and that's fine. And there are other ways, there are other little tricks you can use, but this is one I find really effective. So if ever you're in a gig or a practice room situation, or even just at home, and as I say, your high tom is often the main culprit because of the frequency and because of the proximity to your snare. If something is setting your snare off and it's driving you insane, then a really, really quick thing that might just help is to turn the snare upside down and loosen a bit of the tension off those tension rods either side of each end of the snare strands. It might just save your sanity and it only takes a few seconds to do. Anyway, quick tip for you there. If you want to get really deep into tuning, there is a whole tuning course that might be interesting to you because we need to know how to tune our drums well. If you want to check that out, click below and there's a link to that. There's also a bunch of other free videos that are to do with tuning and just getting a great drum sound, so links are also below. Don't forget to hit subscribe because there's going to be loads more coming from Total Drummer, so I will see you next time.